Mm, yes, we are here. Hotel
Aloha.
Productions, Motel in the building, Remy in the building, TikTok, I'm here. We
Everywhere
got
is possible.
Remy on the live on
Oh yeah,
YT.
it's been a minute.
It has over 7 days. Has it
Definitely
been
over
over
7 days.
14 days?
Mhm. Wait, what has it? Or am I
I
just
can't remember if wait, did we have a live last week?
nah? That's what I'm thinking. Like, is it 21 really? Cause I'm like, I mean, we doing it technically. I mean, we ain't lied yet. It's definitely over 7 days.
I feel like it was 14 days.
All right, I'm gonna let you have
Maybe,
that then.
maybe around 14.
Okay, I ain't mad at that. You
I
got
don't
it.
know. Perhaps we'll check after we do this live. How
Yeah.
in that live there was an end part where we spoke about like provoking thought questions and
Mhm.
talking about certain questions. But at the beginning, we were kind of speaking about sinners and our view
Oh yeah.
on sinners, and we were just kind of getting into the beginning of it because it was around the end to the beginning. Like we made it switched it. We started from the end to the beginning.
Yeah. We did. That's probably my fault because we did start
No, but
backwards.
it kind of worked out to be like
Yeah. Yeah.
makes sense, especially because we found out that we both watched Blade before and like you after and me before.
Oh yeah, for
It's
sure.
like, I'm
Mhm.
still pondering on that, thinking like, what is that?
I don't know. That was just my thought. That's why I was like, that I couldn't really think of anything else. But when I saw that, I thought that I was like, yo, that's fire. That's just fire. Or maybe, hey, if I'm wrong and that's not a thing, you know how it is. Sometimes we can be fans and just create something out of nothing. So
Yeah, that's true. It's
I'm
just such a
trying to get you.
crazy coincidence, like a synchronicity of like us both watching that.
Oh
So
yeah.
I think I think maybe it's because it's Black Vampires. So realistically, it's like a relation to that because Sinners is like the latest Black vampire thing,
Yeah.
Like even
Yeah.
Twilight and things like there were a
Uh,
couple of Black characters, but the main plot and the main characters were not. You know,
right. Yeah.
there could have been that
I try not to
association.
speak about that one. The Twilight people seem like they got a lot of
Honestly, I
fans
was
out
a
there.
Twilight girly back in the day.
And I mean, I get it for what it is. I mean, I ain't tripping about it. Because I think vampires, I'm like, oh, I know what I'm about to get. And then I saw that, I was like, the disrespect, bro. The disrespect
They
coming
watered it
good.
down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made it very like
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. I had to
well,
get my my what is it? My vampire kick with is that Underworld? I think it's the vampires versus the
yeah,
werewolves.
yep,
Yeah, I had to go get
yep.
my vampire kick over there.
I haven't watched Underworld in a minute. It took me a while to get into Underworld because when I was younger, I was
Oh,
I was
word?
very afraid. Even though I used to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it was so weird. But like,
Oh, I
yeah, when I
forgot
got
about that
older,
show.
I started watching Underworld and really
Yeah,
getting into the story of them.
I didn't even know vampires was in there until I don't even know how I know. To be honest, I think I had saw a scene or a
Yeah.
trailer that was like Underworld 2 or something. Because the entire time I thought it was just like some werewolf stuff, but
Oh yeah.
it wasn't. So I was like, oh, okay, you got my attention. Now I'll go back and watch the first one just to see how it played out. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's how that played out.
Underworld has vibes. It has a whole like storyline and love story and all that.
Mm.
Wait, wasn't
How
the guy like half beast or like half beast, half vampire or
I
something
think that's how it ended off. Yeah,
like that?
yeah, because I think he was in love with the girl who was vampire,
Mhm.
and he ended up. I think he ended up with both powers. I think so because the two families couldn't get along. There was so much war. He was the guy to stand in between. He was like, "Well, if I got to kill y'all, then I'll kill everybody. Jeez, we're gonna
Yeah.
start a whole new family with this one." So,
Turn into the beast.
yeah, for sure. How you been? How have you been, man?
I've been okay. I had to go to Emerge last week,
Mm,
and it was a situation where I was in a city, like I go to that city all the time, but not to go to the hospital or anything. So
mm-hmm.
when I had to go, I was like, what is gonna be the best place? Like, do they have a sickle cell protocol?
Oh,
That's my first question at all times, you know? So I'm here going to a hospital that I've never really been to like that.
ooh,
And
mm-hmm.
luckily, or not even luckily, but fortunately, they had a sickle cell protocol. So when I got there, they were pretty fast with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was some like mishap when I when I got admitted,
mm-hmm.
went upstairs. But in general, for the emerge, for like what emerge is
Yeah, 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 yeah.
it was pretty thorough and it was pretty like they were pretty fast because they understood my discomfort levels and all
Oh,
that
that's
stuff.
good. That's good.
Um, so I was there for a couple of days, and then
Wait, with you being sick in another city in another hospital, you stayed there for a couple of days.
yeah.
So, like, how did that play out for you coming back home? Like, was there family staying in the city as well?
Oh well, when it came to visitation, my great aunt actually ended up visiting me
Mm-hmm.
because she's in that city. But when it came to going back home, like I had to Uber home. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna eventually get reimbursed for that. I should be getting reimbursed for that, but
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, I ended up Ubering home for the couple of days, and like I was just ready to go.
Wow.
I felt like I was there, and I was getting more ill being there. Like I was trying to tell
Mm.
the nurse, like after a certain level, not level, after a certain time or point, I need time off of the saline water because it can get so heavy, and it could actually cause water retention and make
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
our ankles swell up, like
Swell
just
up.
things like
Yeah.
that, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. 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 Okay.
that
Dang.
I was very adamant on some something that actually made a video about it.
Okay. Are you the type to where you prefer to heal at home versus the hospital, or if the treatment isn't up to your standards, you'll end up leaving?
Nowadays, I'm the type to like feel like if I feel like my pain's under control
Mhm.
and I'm getting irritated because I'm not necessarily comfortable. Like, I don't get full rest all the time there and stuff.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
if I feel like my pain's manageable, I don't have a fever, like my hemoglobin's at a certain level,
Mhm.
they're still kind of not saying I can go home.
Mhm.
Well, sometimes I'll just say I'm ready to go, or like a couple years back, I would discharge myself.
Mhm.
But this time, the doctor could see that I was okay, like I was doing okay.
Oh, okay,
So
okay,
they're like, okay, yeah, if you want to go home, you can go home. But yeah,
okay.
in general, like sometimes I don't like staying admitted for too long because I feel like it makes me just being there.
No, I get you. I get there as well, but I've heard so many other. I mean, okay. Well, you know what? I got two things to say actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. One, why is it that we? Oh, I ain't gonna say we because I'm not in this. Why most of the people that I know that have sickle cell don't like being called sicklers? Wow, I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's whatever, sure. But I never asked anybody else that though. But I've heard that a lot.
It's funny. I thought we spoke about that, but
Oh,
maybe
we
we
did.
have. I don't know. Maybe we haven't. But I feel like we brought it up before. That's so. It's not that it's random, but it was like such a.
I mean, it wasn't my initial thought. I had a response to what you were saying, and that
Um,
response was, "I'm normally not that person when it comes down to that. I'm the sickler that's more than likely going to stay there the whole week. Now, once it start going into 2 weeks, that's when I'm like, I'm booking it one way or another. There's nothing y'all can do. But yeah, after about a week, I'm good. But because I said sickler, I was like, wait a minute, what's up with this
like
word, bro?
secondary like continue. Um,
Yeah.
for I mean, okay. I don't know if it's like if it's just I don't know if anyone else's thought on this,
Hmm.
but for me, in general, I look at like for a few years I got into like etymology of words and just like looking at words and the meaning behind it. Like there could be several meanings behind a word, or it could be like
Hmm.
one meaning.
True.
So when I look at the
Yeah,
term,
etymology.
when I look at the term sickle, like sickle in general, or like sickler, like the term sick is right there, and it's like always technically bombarding our mind that we're sick, we're sick, we're sick, like we're
Hmm.
told we're sick, and then you know, words have power. So call
Hmm.
yourself a certain thing, it could just keep us in a even mind state of potentially feeling sick or being sick or feeling like you get better. So it's like it's just something that I personally like don't
Hmm.
not saying. But I understand that people say it. Like I don't get offended by it or anything. It's just like
Yeah. Okay.
it's
Hmm.
kind of like
I never asked nobody, but I've always heard it, and I'm respectful, so I'm like, all right, I guess I won't say it around y'all, or whatever. But sure, I got a whole email, literally with that in it, so it's like, I just never understood why people felt the way they did about it.
oh yeah. I mean I'm sure other people might have their own take on it. Um but yeah, I just think Sigasol goes so deep with our history. So it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like there's so much to talk about with like how it was earlier times, how it was viewed later, how it's viewed now, you know.
Mhm. Um. All right, I don't think I'm gonna say. Well, maybe that's a whole different conversation. And I know we didn't have any intention of going down this lane, but because of what you said, I'm like, oh yeah, what you just said is very factual, very factual. Because I did a little experiment with some AIs a couple weeks ago, just different AIs, and I asked them all one question, and I asked I don't think this is TOS or I don't think it should be. I asked what are what are things the government what are things the government don't want to tell us in regards to sickle cell.
Oh shit. What the heck? Like, what the heck did you say?
Yeah, yeah, and that was I didn't sleep that night. I got very creative that night. Not in a like I'm not saying I didn't sleep in a bad way. I'm just
No.
saying creatively, I didn't sleep because it gave me so many thoughts that I was like, all right, I got to get these out some type of way so I can go to sleep. But y'all, if anybody see this, check that out. Ask your AI that question. And yeah, that's
Can you
very
name a
unique.
couple of things that it said?
I would like to review it before I say anything because I don't want to say anything that's like, hold up, bruh. You just ruined a lot of things we had going on. I'm like, well, I didn't know. I'm just giving you what I was. But let me go over it again, and then I can reword things differently. Because me just saying it right now would be raw, and the way I got
You're
it,
raw. I like when things
I,
are raw.
I don't want to be salty and find out we don't have a channel.
That deep.
So
I
let
mean,
me
we
let me
can
do it the smart
always
way.
start. Can
Let me,
always
yeah,
change the brand. No.
man, yeah, yeah. I mean, some things, okay, some things, some things. I think a lot of us, and I'm saying us in two different ways: us, the sickle cell community, and us as, brown skin, black people. A lot of the conspiracies or whatnot that we might have or might have heard in our lives are true. Are true. They are true, for sure. For sure. Definitely. If you want to think about things like Tuskegee experiment, yeah, 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 yeah. Definitely a true. Definitely a true. Yeah. So yeah, it kind of shifted a few things. I was like, hold up, is that really? Or I mean, it's AI, but at the same time, you got to be knowledgeable to know what you're dissecting, what's being given back to you. And I'm like, some things I do know, some things I don't. But if I'm connecting the dots correctly, what makes sense is this. So yeah, I would say we are correct for those who might have had those thoughts for the most part. That's probably the only thing I can probably think of and say right now in a different way. Everything else, I want to review it so I can make sure I say it correctly.
Got
But
it.
yeah,
Do you
yeah, yeah.
remember that video I sent you on Telegram with the woman talking about?
Mhm, mhm. Yep, that definitely popped up in my mind. I
And
was
I
like,
watched that video just yesterday.
oh word.
It just came to my mind. And
Yeah, there's a few things that I've heard you say that I've never heard anybody else say that you're on par. You're yeah, you're more than correct.
we need a Patreon 585. Okay. Think that.
Wait. Hold up. I just realized what you just said. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait, what? You said we need a Patreon 585?
Yeah, as in a section in the 585 Patreon where we can talk the things.
Okay, okay. Yo, that's why I hit you up with that message. I was like, how you wanna do something, with this and this, because we might be able to, throw some things together like that. So yeah, I was thinking that. I
Okay,
was
let
thinking
me so I know that
that.
TikTok isn't necessarily rhythm is an algorithm. And
hmm
Instagram,
That's
I'm not
cool.
sure how it will be, so I'm gonna try Instagram on here now
hmm
that things are getting a little deep, and we can always get back to TikTok because
Okay.
we're
Yeah.
talking code. I'm fine talking it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh,
To be honest, I don't really like talking in code. Like it goes against everything that I am doing right now. This discipline that I've
really?
been doing for like a year and a half called radical transparency. So me speaking in a code way is irritating my soul right now because I'm like, I don't care. I want to say it, but be responsible about it, bro. Be responsible about it, bro.
Well, we can talk about a world.
Yeah. I mean, was you trying to go down that lane too? What lane was you trying to go down when you said 585?
Oh no, I was just saying in general, like,
Oh, okay, okay, I got you, I got you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that'd be dope for sure. Because there are definitely some things in works. Well, not in the works. I've completed a few things already that that will stand out for our community for sure. I think we will notice it probably the most or first for sure. Yeah. So I think everybody would enjoy that, and hopefully it delivers the message that I feel like I just had my entire life. So it could be just my purpose message or whatever for man, just understanding self and understanding that you are more than you are more already more than enough. There's no reason for you to doubt yourself in a way that makes you feel like you don't have purpose. You do. You just got to figure out which lane and what speed. That's it.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's very beautiful because sometimes we can get, or I don't know, I feel like sometimes stagnant or like, again, like we have to restart or reset.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
beautiful reminder.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we need that reminder a lot. It's just hard to get it for our community. On because it's not just one person's fault. It's both sides of the scale. Like I know we're strong enough to go through things solo, and at the same time, when we need the support, we might not actually seek it out. We we would rather just wait for an extended hand and be like, "Oh, so you do rock with me and want to help me out." At least that's how I feel. That's how I viewed it from talking to people with sickle cell my entire life as well. So it's a two-sided situation, and it's already hard enough to come across professionals that actually benefit our individual journey. So yeah, I get it.
Feel that.
But that's why we created. We're the creators. You're the creative. You know.
Yeah, exactly. We have so many creatives in our
Yeah.
community. I think that's what we should focus on or need to focus on. Even if the message or the perspective on what we go through is different
Mhm.
or is taboo or it's unheard of or it's breaking the mold,
Yeah.
like maybe
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
time for that to happen.
Mhm. Yeah. 'Cause either way, and I'm just speaking on reflection of self. It's no finger pointed at anybody. Either way, I feel like as long as you're making the decision to walk this journey or stay in the fight or whatever, however you want to look at it, at some point, one way or another, you're going to be fulfilling your purpose. You can run from it from ever forever. But just like that meme, I think it's in the Matrix where he was running on the railroad one way and he came out on the exact same railroad. Like, wait, what?
Oh yeah, when you're in the subway.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's like that. That's exactly what it is, bro. You can only run for so long, and then when you look back, you're gonna be like, "Who was I running? Oh, I was running from self." Okay, yeah, that's on me. You right. You right. Cause I can't run from self. You right.
Can't run from self for real. Shout out to you, 50-50.
Yeah. But
Real.
anywho, I took that off real. My bad. I know you wanted to talk about sinners.
I don't know. I think it all connects. Everything connects. Um, yes, because sometimes we do run from the pain. I was gonna talk about the pain in sinners in general when someone else is in pain. Like, how do you
Mm.
do that? Or like, do you get like do you cringe? Is it dumb? Is it like that ain't not like what? Like how are you
Mhm.
empathetic? Do you turn off the empathy and become apathetic when you see
Jeez.
it? Or I mean, especially
Uh.
if it's not real, like it's fiction,
Okay.
but
I'm just thinking. Mhm. Mhm. All right. This question comes up rarely in my life, and every time it comes up, I think to myself, why you don't have an answer to this by now, bro? And I don't know, because that is definitely something. I've had conversations with siblings, people just who know me. It don't really matter what category they in, and I still don't know. I still don't know. I don't necessarily feel for somebody else's. Okay, my answer is I don't know. Okay, just that's the title of this. Remy don't know. Okay, now trying to break that down, this might not be that, but my answer is I don't know. Um, I I don't necessarily feel for somebody else's pain or situation, no matter who they are or what they're going through or how insane it might be. I don't know why, but I'm always in the place of like, all right, well, whatever that thing is, like me feeling for that, that's just a blur. I'm always looking at, oh, but when that's done, that could be, oh, that's gonna be fire. Dang, I hope they don't get consumed and then not realize that though. That'd be fire. Like that's the place I'm always mentally. So that I definitely feel more on the opposite side of that scale. So me feeling for somebody else or another sickler and their said situation, not necessarily there. But I do feel when they get through something, or I might be on a phone call with them and they telling me different levels of themselves, their progress. I always feel those. I always feel those. I always end up getting the chills with those and everything. So I don't know how to necessarily answer that for what you just said.
Mm.
But that's my answer, if it made sense. What about you?
Well, in real life,
Mhm.
I'm learning how to create better boundaries when it comes to being empathetic for others. Because it's some like some would say people, a lot of people saying they're super empathetic, they're an empathetic person. Like nowadays, it's like
Mhm.
over bombarding that people are saying this. However,
Yes.
there are people truly that are highly sensitive people,
Ouch.
and the ones that are really like that gotta strive to create really strong boundaries, like emotional, spiritual, energetic, mental, like things like that, because we can feel what others feel. And it's a very like it can be a gift, but if it's something that's not even fully aware, like the person isn't aware,
Mm. Mhm.
then they can be overconsumed and not even realize like a lot of their emotions that they're feeling could be others, or the pain that they're feeling could be others. So like this happens to different people. Like it's not even just people with sickle cell, but I can only imagine that
Mhm.
someone with sickle cell who is a highly sensitive person it just happens to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely something that is hard to get to go through. And I think a lot of us might actually be going through that, people with sickle cell.
Mm. Just not aware of it.
Yeah, just not aware of it because, we're dealing with a different, like, not a different nervous system, just our nervous system
Yeah.
is reacts and gets triggered differently.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's like maybe not being aware of that and then realizing that others could be affecting your nervous system, whether good or bad, but like excitement or like even like a down
Mm.
us who are extremely empathetic might not realize that that can affect our nervous system, which then has a cause and effect to like other things.
Okay. 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 So something you said in there, I've actually heard my brother say, and he said it. He probably said it multiple times in conversation, and that's the part that honestly confuses me. That's it could be a component to why it's hard for me to answer that question, or why I'm more acceptable to just saying I don't know, because of that fact. I'm the only one with sickle cell in the family, oldest of three. My brother got the trait. I don't think I've ever talked to my sister about like this stuff, like on this level, but I know she doesn't have anything. But I've heard my brother talk about that growing up and whatnot, feeling for other people, and me hearing it on me hearing it from him is triggering my mind to just stay in the place of I'm relating to one, a sibling, blood related, and then two, I'm like, all right, doesn't everybody? Because you're human. So, but because of how you're saying it and everything, that's the part that confuses me because I'm like, I understand what y'all are saying, but I'm not feeling that. But I know it to be true, but I'm still able to question, like, all right, but don't we all feel that? And we're just not aware of it? Can you be lost in that? Lost in translation with yourself to understand that? Or are there actually people like myself that genuinely just don't feel it that way?
Yeah, I think more often than not, people who are highly sensitive, it's based on it could be based on a certain set of trauma, like it could be based on not being heard. It could be based on uh, uh, literally being abused. It could be based off of neglect. It could be based off of like it could be based off of anything.
Right, right.
But depending on the person, um, it it truly can show that that person does not know how to say no. So it
Mm,
this is just an aspect. It's just an example. So like in general in life, if you're super welcoming and you just don't have the stance of saying, you know what, like this is a no, like in whatever circumstance,
okay.
it's like at that point you're either being pushed over or manipulated or controlled or it's like different things, right? So it could be that or it could be overall again the person just never had someone to show them this is the boundary set for people or this is the boundary set for arguments or this is the boundary set for like not giving a F. So like it could be a whole bunch of things where
Yeah.
uh, that highly sensitive person has to like now learn and build and like grow into being empathetic like a human being, like what, but not like going overboard to like now people are taking advantage of your empathy or taking advantage because you're either people pleasing or you just don't know that you're even doing that. So for someone who can be empathetic without it letting it drain them or affect them, it's because you are that person like you could have a good mastering of like the art of detachment, for example. Like,
Oh, yes,
you
for sure.
know,
Hmm.
sometimes women go through it more because we're more emotional, like just naturally. So we
Okay.
go through that. But I'm not
Hmm.
gonna say just women, right? But in general it be like that
Okay.
sometimes, you know. So we like women have to learn that a lot too. Like our emotions are valid and things like that. However, um yeah, just having better boundaries with other people's emotions or
Mm,
like
okay.
uh, but yeah, that's just
Okay.
the flow of what I think right now. Like, you know, even like
No,
myself, I
yeah.
have to learn like I don't know, for me I've been hearing a lot about people pleasing and how people pleasing is a way of feeling validated and being feeling validated from someone. or by someone. And it's like never looked at it like that. I just looked at it like, what's wrong with pleasing people? Like what's wrong with actually being kind to people, right? But
Right, right, right.
can turn into niceness. The niceness is like rich, right? So it's like a thin line between being kind, and then there are people who are being nice to get something out of something, right? Or
Mhm.
get something from someone. But the people who are just being kind because they just are being kind get
Mhm.
told that they're people pleasing now and want something from someone because they're just being kind. So it's like now this is like this could be me and my spectrum mind not realizing like, oh, I was
Yo, I'm
kind.
doing the same thing. I'm going through it in my mind as you talking. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. But then
Mm.
yeah, so it's like learning about even if you're super kind, sometimes people it's not like everyone deserves your people pleasing anyway, even if it's coming from a genuine point. That's just my view on it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And yeah, like at the end of the day, the lesson right now, like pain, like going back to what we were talking about,
Mhm.
um, yeah, people can feel other people's pain, and it's something that it's something that you have to discover that may be happening.
Mhm.
Not to say that like we obviously all have our own type of thing, but if you have just that certain ability, someone could hear someone's thoughts, someone could see other
Mm.
dimensions or things like that. You know,
Yep.
others can feel those emotions or pain. So it's like if
Okay.
you, yeah.
So okay. So with that, it aside from the many layers that I've went through in my head listening to you, that I'm not going to drag us through. Um, one question that did pop up with that: would you prefer to? You're feeling that in regards to somebody else. How would you prefer like that to be for you in your life overall? And what I'm isolating is the fact of, all right, do you want to feel and be able to have, you know, those restrictions in a way? Do you want to, or would you like to remove that pain or whatever discomfort or whatever feeling that is from the other person entirely? Or do you don't want to experience anything at all?
Mm. Oh, uh, usually people who like feel like have that type of ability, like not even just speaking for me, but just people like that are
Mhm.
supposed to like not supposed to, but can realize that they have a healer ability. So
Mm.
a lot of times, like people who go through pain, whatever it is, it's to learn how to heal yourself so that you can then help someone else. Like,
Mhm.
go on,
Yep.
like we know humans in life, right? If you want. So for me, I'm gonna say
Right.
all because that sometimes I'm like, I don't want to fucking feel this anymore. Other times it's like, hold on, I was feeling fine just a while ago. Walk by that person, like, did I, like I saw this woman one time in the mall and I just knew she was sad. And I'm like, oh my God, she's sad.
Mm.
It made me sad for like 10 minutes. I'm like,
Oh.
oh my gosh, she's so sad, you know? So it's like,
Oh. So you're
nah,
not just feeling it like in regards to like, okay, yeah, I'm feeling that. You're also responding. Like your body is responding
yeah, and
as well.
those are the things that a lot of people might be going through and need to have proper boundaries of.
Oh.
Because
Okay.
to just be super empathetic and care about people, like
Mhm. Mhm.
have a heart where you care that someone else is in pain or like not feeling or feeling sad or whatever, and then you want to like help, but
Mhm.
um, yeah, so that's entirely up to the person if
Oh
like
wow.
that's what they want to do, or like you ask them, and so, or like if it's not an asking, it's like kismet, right? Usually with healers and like when I met my herbalist, for example, it was aligned to meet him. So it's like,
Mm.
so like, yeah, just, again, so people who might be on cerebral and stuff might actually be able to understand people's. mind better than someone else, or like, like
Mm,
we all yo, like it's so crazy because everything you're doing with 585, like
mhm,
it's like another way of explaining like humans and like
mhm,
our own abilities that we may have. So like
mhm. Yeah, no,
yeah.
definitely, definitely. Okay, all right. Well, I'm just gonna say this aloud because it might look and come off weird. So, for those who don't know, I have a horrible, horrible time with receiving anything um, positive, complimentative. In my mind, I'm like, next topic. Yeah, next topic, whatever. So I'm hearing you say everything about 585 and whatnot, but I'm like, I appreciate it. Next topic. But yeah, no, but if I was to fight that urge or feeling and actually speak on that, that definitely is a focus. That is a key focus for sure. That is a key focus because if when you're reading the character lore or the information that I provide for, I mean, I know everybody might not understand it for what it is, but with those characters, I am literally thinking about so many different things in my life that I probably wrote down in notes or I remember or I reflect on. And I'm like, you know what? These are all low key different qualities that make an individual. These are different experiences. These are different things, just period, that make an individual. And if I could display that in a positive way and give people the overall picture of what timing and purpose look like, no matter how the characters may look or be read, if I do the manga first, that's the thing for sure. Because everyone has a position that every individual known to man, unless somebody is out here a hybrid alien. And low key, if that's the case, I got something for you too. I thought about you too. Okay, we got spirits out here in the real world, so you count kinda. So yeah, no. So I appreciate that. That is definitely a highlight for my
Yeah, it's
purpose of making
exciting.
it.
Definitely exciting.
Yeah, yeah. Dang, I had another question for what you were saying. Oh, um, okay. With you responding, your body naturally responding to those situations. The only time I've ever really felt like that, I don't see. This is why it's so confusing for me, and I still, I'm gonna walk away saying I don't know still, but the only time I ever really feel like that in regards to okay, that person is sad, and then my body naturally responds, and I feel sad or whatever. It is only been in the way of me just thinking it, like oh, that person looks sad, but I'm not feeling it, but I want to act to just see if I can get a smile. Because from what I'm looking at, I don't know if they feel like this, but they look sad. What can I do right now in this moment to just put a smile on their face? Because I know how powerful a smile is. Not that I'm saying I'm special or anything. I'm just saying a smile is different from, neutral. And I'm like, what can I do to put a smile on their face? And I would act on it. I don't care if I know them or not, but that's the thing. That's why I will never know
No,
if
so
I'm ever that type of
you
person.
are technically clairsentient. You can see, you know what I mean? You can see that someone's
Yeah.
probably sad. So it's how you respond to it.
So it's not just a mental because the way that I was saying that from like a mental perspective because I received your information in like a spiritual like way, things that you can feel but not necessarily see. And I was like, I cannot find that lane for me, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like for you, empathetically is like how you see it is mental, where someone else may feel it. So like someone might sense it, or someone might hear someone, like, so for you, it's
Mm,
about something like realizing and saying, yeah, that person, based off of their mannerisms, based off of how they're
posture, mannerisms, the way they're walking.
so, yeah,
Mm.
so it's still empathy. It's just your response is Capricorn.
Yo, I was trying to avoid saying that, but you said it anyway. So, okie dokie.
Yeah,
My response is
Capricorn.
Capricorn.
So,
All right, yo. You got it. I'll take that.
yeah, so it's
Cool.
like it, and so like how we respond to things
Oh,
is
shoot. My bad.
probably like, I don't know. I feel like people with sickle cell can do a whole weekend convention on the stories of how we respond to pain, like how we keep calm,
Mm,
or if we don't, or
mm,
it would be a whole,
mm. Let's start that. I know it's on the spot. I could have said this behind the scenes. It's going on 45 minutes, but I'm going to shut up. But let's start that. Let's start that. Let's have a segment every time where it's just how you deal with pain. 'Cause I feel like we got many ways we deal with pain.
yeah, yeah. I think so. I think that would be good. I
Okay,
think
cool.
that would be good for
Yeah,
sure.
how you deal with pain. Yeah, I'm down with
That's
that.
the next. That's the next live that we're doing.
Yeah, for sure. I'm shutting up. It's already been 45 minutes. I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah. So no, I know we could go on and on with how we breaking things down on
Mm,
Instagram. If you want to check out the first half of this live, on YouTube, in self reduction, and you can find this live, the full live with myself and Remy. There's other lives from the past. And to usually do this on Sundays at 9 p.m. You know how it is with our teams as well. So that's why I say usually. But yeah,
mm,
usually on Sundays at 9 p.m. And there's more content coming soon on the self production. So feel
yeah,
free to check it out and email or send a DM if you're interested in like just sharing any content of your own for
hmm
the YouTube channel. But remember, Sundays 9 p.m. we'll be back with more
yeah,
piece to Instagram.
hmm yeah.
So yeah,
That sounds good to me. I'm down for it. How you deal with pain is officially a segment. Cool.
that's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna post this on Instagram and then link for even before Sunday. I'm just starting to like stabilize myself right now, but I'm gonna
hmm
message you about the other stuff that we're planning on doing. I just realized we're still on. Anyways, we'll see you on the next episode. This is Motel and Remy the Build.